world has heard that Coach Prime has gotten an offer from the University of Colorado, and it has some wondering what's the next move going to be. Well, will he leave? Will he go? Will he stay? Who knows? We're all sitting on pins and needles waiting to see what he's going to do as far as if he's going to remain as the head coach of the Jackson State Tigers University football program. To sit back and not say or have a plan in place to put out there in the atmosphere to see if by chance A.D. Ashley Robinson or Coach Prime would say, Coach, you might be on to something there. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to dig into this thing right now. We're going to get into, some of the semantics to see exactly what's going on. So y'all make sure y'all strap in for this because I'm about to hit you with something that's going to have you like, wait a minute, Coach, what you on over there? Y'all ready? Let's get into it right about now. It's your favorite coach back at it again. 10 toes down, about to tell you how it all went down. This is Tomorrow Leader Sports Network with your host, Coach Walker. If you're new to the channel, please like, share, subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you can get all upcoming videos. For all my leaders out there, welcome back. Y'all know the drill. Y'all know the routine. If you haven't done so already, please like, comment, and share these videos. And tap in a friend and tell them to come on in. It's another positive vibe. We're just having a good time talking about HBCU sports. And don't forget, you can follow us on all social media platforms. The links are listed down below in the description. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and tap on in this thing and get straight to it because I know when you heard the news that Coach Prime had been offered the Colorado University head football coaching position, a lot of you were sitting there scratching your heads like, wait a minute, how in the heck did this happen? And you know what? Me, myself, I got to thinking about something else. And it's always something with me with some history. So I'm going to take you back to something that Martin Luther King said in that MLK video, and I quote, "We have fought hard and long for integration. And as I believe we should have, and I know that we will win, come to believe we're integrating into a burning house." And I'm going to tell you what I mean by that. No, I'm not saying Coach Prime is a burning house, but I'm explaining to you what I mean by the burning house. What made me think about that is the fact that, to be honest, every time HBCUs get something positive that comes into the culture, that begins to move their culture forward, it's always someone or someones that find a way to want to, reel that thing back like, y'all ain't doing that. Y'all trying to get ahead. Y'all can't get ahead. We can't allow that. We can't allow that to get ahead. But see, you got to understand one thing. I'm going to take you back to 1978 when FAMU won the national championship. That was before they decided they wanted to come up with FBS and FCS. See, when they came up with the FBS and FCS, that meant all of the money was going to go to the major institutions, while the FCS schools got the crumbs. And they had to fight and scratch and claw to find ways to make the monies that they need to keep their programs running. Not only that, but then you have your states who are funding these institutions where they want to give them pennies on the dollar and not give them the necessary funds that is allotted for them to have each and every year to make sure that they continue to keep, moving and grooving, doing their things to upkeep at those HBCUs, lawn and, buildings, things of that nature. You get what I'm saying? I understand the fact that people are always going to try to find ways to move the goal. And when you move the goal, that's going to prevent unity from happening. And what we've seen with Coach Prime in some instances, I'm not going to say all, in some instances, there's been a lot of unity that have taken place. You see people wanting to show up to games because they want to see what's going on. The attendance was already booming at Jackson before Coach Prime got there. But I got to give him a little credit and say, hey, he moved that needle up a little bit higher to, get people very interested in what's going on in Jackson State. What is it that Coach Prime and Jackson State football team, what are they going to do next? Who's going to be the next high-ranking recruit that's going to come into the program? Things of that nature. People want to see, they want to see a positive story. They want to see good things happen. But, I'm looking at everything that Coach Prime has been able to accomplish since he's been there in the 2 years. And I mean, it's some amazing stuff. I gotta tip my hat to Coach Prime. He's definitely gotten in there and got that thing shaking and baking in a manner in which a lot of folks didn't really think it could possibly happen, but he was able to do it. His faith, his walk with faith is definitely strong because, like I said, a lot of folks, some of the things that you go through, you probably would have folded up like a cheap tent and said, hey, you know what? This is too much for me. I'm just not going to be able to do it. Coach Prime kept forging forward. And I give him his props for that. But the one thing I give him props, another thing I give him props for as well is the fact that he came in and saw how there were some bad contracts out there. We're doing bad business. And it was high time that business needed to be fixed. Now, you move on to the fact that he was able to get the #1 recruit in the country to sign with Jackson State University. Why? Because that young man saw something in Coach Prime at Jackson State that was infectious to him, where he was like, hey, I want to be a part of this. I gotta create my legacy right here at Jackson State University. And not only that, Mr. Travis Hunter has been on a roll in doing just that this season with his play out there on the field. Looking at some other things here as far as like under Coach Prime's guidance while being the head coach at Jackson State. He got his first player on his team drafted into the NFL, and none other Mr. Houston. Now, not only that, but he also helped other players get drafted into the XFL and the USFL from Jackson State and other HBCU institutions. Put things together to where they had the ability or had the opportunity to come out there and compete and showcase their skills so that the coaches or the recruiters or whomever for those teams were able to come out there and see them do their thing and possibly have an opportunity to go play. Now, another thing I want to say is he got 12 athletes that made all SWAC honors this year. Now, I hope to see more than that next season because there's a lot of ballers on that team that got left off the list. And trust and believe, if your name was not called when they named all SWAC honors for your team, I would be thoroughly pissed off making sure that once everything is said and done this season, I'm getting my behind in the gym and go work on my craft because guess what? I will not be left out that number. And, another thing, too, when I saw that 12 kind of reminded me of the Last Supper, but ain't going to be no Last Supper. I honestly believe we're going to continue to keep going on, breaking bread, making sure that we continue to keep moving, not only Jackson State, but all of our HBCUs forward. Prime has also got Jackson State on the cover of Sports Illustrated. They've been on 60 Minutes. They've been on Good Morning America. And then they had the ESPN Game Day come to Jackson State in Jackson, Mississippi. And you saw all of those wonderful people out there looking at everything that was going on as far as Coach Prime being interviewed and talk about what all he's been able to do at Jackson State University. And the crazy thing about all of that is the fact that when you saw the analysts that were there, they're sitting there wondering like, wow, we didn't know all of this was going on. Yeah, you know why? Because there's a lot of people that don't give HBCUs that type of opportunity to come out and see exactly what's going on. All they know is like, we really don't want to be bothered with that. But people are beginning to open their eyes a lot bigger and a lot brighter to see cohesion there where people can come in, enjoy the atmosphere, enjoy what's going on, and everyone accept them as them being a part of what's happening during that time. And sit down and conversate and have different conversations about, different things, walks of life, everything that's going on out here. And everybody's able to walk away on one accord and they understand one another. Can't forget the fact that Coach Prime got a record of 26-5 in 2 years, 2.5 seasons, excuse me. And he's looking to go ahead and complete a undefeated season. Oh, and by the way, I cannot forget, congratulations, Coach of the Year, 2 times. I sat and watched Coach Prime doing that Boombox Classic, walking around that stadium. I'm sitting there and I'm looking at him. I spoke to him as he came up on me, because I saw that, this is my own perception now. I honestly believe Coach was out there walking that field like he do every week in and week out. And I think I feel that he was praying for safety for all of the athletes out there on the field, as well as, praying that he has a clear mind to get out there and make sure he's able to coach his team on the victory that day. As I'm standing on that sideline during that Boombox Classic and I'm watching 60,000 fans who knew the words verbatim, who is SWAC? And Coach Prime was standing out there leading them, singing the song. And I'm sitting there looking like, wait a minute. And the feeling that overcame myself as well as everyone else in that stadium was the fact that they were sitting there like, man, we believe in what's going on here in the vet. We believe in what Coach Prime is bringing in here for us to see. We see the change. We see the movement. See, Coach Prime, you got to understand, you've created a movement that a lot of folks may not have seen, but this one time. Myself, I've seen it twice. The first time, Mr. Cosby gave us the movement when he brought in A Different World on NBC. We all watched it. There's a lot of students after that, high school students, that begin to look into going to HBCU. We are a second time. It's you. You've come in here now where you got the social media age, where people are now going back and they're doing the research to see some of the things that's going on that were incorrect. To help some of the HBCUs as far as from a financial standpoint, classics and things of that nature, where they were being shortchanged, in which Yes, you called it out. Hey, we got to do better with how we do business. And a lot of times folks don't like being called out on doing business improperly. They get a little offended behind it. And sometimes they got to understand, hey, listen, bad you knew you was bad for that. You knew you was wrong for that. Cut it out. You knew you was bad for that. You need to go ahead and fix it. Seeing the youth where now they're paying a lot of attention on what you got going on over there. Not to mention, you're looking at all of the different rappers and the different folks from every walk of life that's wanting to become a part of what's going on at Jackson State University, as well as other HBCUs as well. Dr. Martin Luther King made that statement to Harry Belafonte, in which I sit and I think right now about the fact of why he made that statement, because he was looking at how things were beginning to pick up. And even though there was so much resistance as far as with people trying to move, as far as the civil rights movement moving forward, it was still making traction even after the fact. When he finally left us all. Coach Prime, you're moving this thing forward in a manner in which there's a lot of people out here that didn't expect it. Yes, you're gonna be receiving offers from here to Timbuktu, no question about it. Because the simple fact is people are seeing exactly what you're doing. There's people that come sit in those stands just like you sat in stands watching players out there on the field that you may want to recruit. Heck, they sitting there looking at you and the people in the stands as far like, wait a minute, look at how all these folks are gravitating to what he has going on here. Hey, what if we brought that to us? Well, one thing for certain is this. Taking it over to the other side, it ain't going to be the same. It's not going to give you that same feeling. You know why? Because the feeling that I felt in that stadium during that Boombox Classic, when I sat there and watched that go on, I know I won't feel that nowhere else other than at a HBCU. See, I'm sitting here thinking from a business standpoint based on the fact that the owner of Under Armour just came to the school and met with the athletes, met with yourself and the athletes. And he showed them the new shoe that he got going out, that they get ready to drop. And it got me to wonder. I said, okay, Coach Prime has always said he wants to get his assistant coaches paid. He want to make sure that their level of pay is increased. Well, I got to weigh that. I thought of something that could possibly help not only your coaches get paid, but the daggone sporting program period get paid. All of the coaches in all of the different sports get paid. Y'all ready to hear what it is? I know people have already stated that hey, Jackson State should go ahead and raise the ticket prices. Yes, I agree with the raising the ticket prices, but there's something else. No one started anything about it. There's only been one HBCU that I found thus far that's been able to do this, or that has done it, and that's North Carolina A&T. North Carolina A&T sold naming rights to their stadium. Now, the only question I have, does Jackson State own the vet? I hear one place they do, one place they don't. So I'm trying to make sure that I'm on par with what I'm saying, because I don't want to offend nobody saying nothing out of sorts and people start getting upset and mad. If Jackson State owns the vet, how about Jackson State sell the naming rights to the vet, leaving the vet there? It could be the Prime Vet. It could be Under Armour at the vet. I'm just throwing names out there. So if y'all pick one of them names, hey, y'all need to come see Coach. Hey, I just want to find this for you. I don't want nothing major to shoot. I just want something to go ahead, put back in the pot, to go ahead and give to somebody else out here that goes to HBCU through my scholarship fund. That's all I want. I'm simple. That's how simple I am. But I tell you this. I say that because of the fact that with everything that I've seen and watched A.D. Ashley Robinson do as far as trying to position Jackson State with everything that they got going on, I'm beginning to think more and more outside the box, because that is what needs to happen right now. So you can name and rights the basketball stadium, the football stadium, the baseball complex, heck, even the track and field, if that's possible. All I'm saying is, if the finances is an issue, here's some ways to consider getting that done to make sure you keep things intact just for a little while longer. I'm not saying Coach Prime is going to be a lifer. I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying is that there's ways to get this done. And I'm sure A.D. Ashley Robinson is already on the job looking at something to try to find a way to make that work. Because I'm really believing that A.D. Ashley Robinson is like Clark Kent in the daggone phone booth where he come out with the cape on looking like Superman, like, all right, let's rock and roll, trying to get this thing done. So I don't put nothing past AD Ashley Robinson as far as with making a move to make sure things are in place so that things can continue to keep rolling in the manner in which they do. Now, I do understand the fact that there's going to be some naysayers out there that's going to be, nah, you need to go ahead, going over to Colorado and take that gig and quit messing around. You know, your sports analysts like Keyshawn Johnson who say, hey, I'll go on over there. I'll go to Colorado and kick it with Coach Prime. You know, I don't know if the rapper's going to do it or however the heck he put it. Keyshawn Johnson, why didn't you come to Jackson State to see what they was offering over there, what they had going on over there? Stephen A. Smith, you came. Charles Barkley, why didn't you bring your tail to Jackson State to see what was going on? And matter of fact, anybody else, Shannon Sharp, you're another one. Why didn't you bring yourself to Jackson State to see what's happening? If you've been there, I haven't heard anything about it. I apologize if I'm talking out of line. But all I'm simply saying is that it's time people get out of the habit of wanting to sit here, look down their nose, and act like HBCUs are not just as daggone important or better than some of these daggone PWIs or Power 5 schools that these athletes is going to. It's simple and plain. Look at all your athletes that's in the transfer portal right now. And right now, it's high time for you to understand you got a lot of athletes that went to Power 5 and PWI institutions that's jumping in that transfer portal. Why? Because they didn't get the shots that they thought they were going to get. And the only thing I got to say is, why didn't y'all come to HBCU? You'd have got your opportunities in the manner which you wanted. But again, I'm not going to say nobody chasing no bag because, you know, bags is being thrown all over the place. And sometimes the bags that you think is thrown out there for you to pick up that's got something in it, it's got something in it, a trick. And a lot of times when you get tricked, guess what? This is what happens. HBCU students as well as student athletes are built to deal with all of the necessary chaos that goes on in the darkest hours, understanding that they got to dig in deep to make sure they get the job done. Because a lot of them, they understand the fact that they're getting out here trying to get to those Power 100, Power 500 companies so that they can get out there and make their mark if by chance they're not being drafted to the NBA, the NFL, the WNBA, you know, any other professional sport that's out there that they're looking to play. The bottom line, all I'm saying to everyone is that they see and respect and love the fact that our HBCUs have been going strong. They're going to continue to keep going strong. My only thing is I don't want to lose the beacon of light that has come in for this short period of time. I know he's had health issues. Don't know if that might be playing an issue as well, where he may be considered, hey, he will leave for that reason. Don't know. I don't expect you to be a lifer. But I would love to see you continue on the path that you're going to level this field out, go the extra mile. Whatever you need Coach to do, hey, I'm going to come do it at however I got to do it. But all I'm saying is it's time for us to all lock arms together and let's move this thing forward. We had an opportunity once before, we fumbled it. I don't want to see it fumbled again. That's just coming from me from the heart. So I'm going to go ahead and get up out of here. I've kept you guys long enough. But I hope you enjoyed everything that I shared with you. But until next time, be the one and lead.